I can't imagine how it happened that I didn't play baccarat yesterday because I seem to be doing it every day and sometimes twice a day. But anyway, whatever. Um, I keep on doing these things because I'm thinking, okay, I've just got to demonstrate that maybe the other shoe doesn't drop. Um, that not being a pun. Um, we'll just have to see. Sometimes it gets hairy, but that's why you have big money behind you. And you've got to sort of keep this in perspective. You've got to remember sometimes it gets hairy for the house too. You know, I mean, when somebody goes off on a crazy lucky run, you know, they can cost the house tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions. But because the house is playing games against 1,000 different people at the same time, and the lucky runs sort of apply to maybe 1 in 1,000, it's not too big a deal. But they also have a bigger cash stash than you do, than I do, than we do. So whatever. I think we got another plus there. I think that's another plus, isn't it? 75, 50. Oh, I think I jumped ahead. Never mind. Plus max. I never go higher than 5 units on a plus run, but up to you what you do. All right, so we're going to chase that. And now we're on 3-4, third. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7-4, and we will hop. We have to wait for the bank to win. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be 3-5 now to cover the commish. All right, we're good. Back to the minimum on the banker. It's rhythm, people. It's patterns. It's just the reliable kind of dynamics of these games of chance that we're after. We're not after predictions. We're not after hunches. We're not, none of that stuff. And cuts and burns and shuffles and switches and all that sort of thing means absolutely nothing. What happened? Okay, better call that. Been a bit sloppy about the next bet with the banker. When he lose 25, the next bet should be 100. And then that's a repeat. And now it's 1-3. Oh, duh. Now it's 4-6. Third on the bank. Come on, banker. Well done. Back to the min. Yeah, well, winning is fun. There's no doubt about that. But our priority is not having fun. It's making a little profit. Honestly, fairly, according to the rules. Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm having one of those days today. But I'm in reasonably good health, so I've got no complaints. You might not know it sometimes, but I really have no complaints. Where the hell am I? All right. +1. The last one. My word, banker, you're going mad. +1. Max. Repeat it. Chase it. Got it. Back to the min. +1. The last one. Okay. Fairly good sign that I'm losing my mind there, I think. I thought, oh my God, I've forgotten to press the recorder. Oh dear. And I hadn't. But that's how it goes sometimes. So anyway, now I've forgotten where I am. 75-1. So I think we've got another +1 on the bank. And now plus max, your choice. Go as high as you like. Okay, we chased that one. And again, we got it. So, yeah, like I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself. Uh, yes, our objective is not to have fun, although we do have fun because winning is more fun than losing. But what I'm trying to say in my clumsy way is this is a business proposition, plain and simple, and we work on it accordingly. Yeah, I think what fooled me just then is that my particular version of a recorder has slightly changed. I just had to update it, and it's slightly changed its thing. So it's moved where the countdown is, and I didn't notice that. And I'm thinking, oh shit, I forgot to turn it on. Where am I? Banker just lost? That's impossible. 1-2. All right, the banker is back to the min. Oh, I should be going to blackjack, shouldn't I? Oh dear. +1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 3, 5. Third on the bank. There it is. Okay, let's go and wake up the blackjack dealer. All righty. Oh, I better move that, I suppose. Aesthetics' sake. Lots of things that I do really don't matter very much, but lots of things that I do matter a lot. So it's a little mix there, right? Okay, so we're off to a new go. Well, that's just rude. Well, that's worse. If I actually overbet there. Sometimes overbetting is not a terrible idea. It's the way it goes with mistakes in these games. You know, it's sometimes they cost you and sometimes they don't. Double for the loss. There's nothing from the Wiz on the turbo question, but now he's in Alaska. He's having a wonderful time. Where 1, 2? That's a cheeky one. But they happen. On both sides. Can we have another 7, please? Eh. Take it. +1. 51. That's a double, I think. Ooh, more like that. No aces. No 6s. I think that's back to the min. Oh dear. Well, that got better, didn't it? Yes, my lovely cleaner is here today. She is a blessing, a gem. Oh! No 6s. Is that a plus? I've lost it again. That's just a repeat. Okie dokie, that's a chase. Oh, we 3-4 third. That ain't gonna work. 7-4 Dropski. Oh dear. 8-4. No. 9-4. Okay, now we're back to 7-4 because we won 200 there. 7-4. $11-8. I should Coco. 3-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. $7-8. That was definitely cheeky. But like I say, the objective here is to just have the right money out at the right time, to the extent that you can, without having the ability to see into the future. If you're psychic, that's a great way to be. I remember when I first started the blackjack blog, the Target blog, years ago. I was inspired in a way by a guy who insisted that he only played blackjack when the ghost of his long dead friend, who he used to play blackjack with, was available to sit beside him and tell him what to do. And of course, I laugh about those sort of things, but it was obviously real to him, poor guy. And, well, maybe not poor guy. I nearly repeated the bet there, didn't I? Yeah, well, I wanted to hit that, but what a good thing I didn't. That's +1. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Oh, 22, I always like to see that. +1. Oh, no, that's a bit of a cock up, then, isn't it? 2-3, second. Oh dear. Bit of a nasty patch here. Oh, it just became unnasty. All right. Yeah, it does kind of mystify me that people can watch these things. I mean, repeated demos going back, I don't know, it was a long time. Oh, what a waste. And just say there's, that this isn't the way to bet. I mean, I just don't get it, really. That's a double for the push, I think. 5 would be good. Yeah, maybe that's enough. Yep. I think that's just a repeat, isn't it? Don't answer that. I like it. I love to get 21 against a 20, I must say. And I think, if I were affected by this stupid boo-boo of the Wizards and allowing this up here, to appear before the whole card has been turned over, then I wouldn't have doubled down on the 11, would I? I mean, knowing that there's a 20 up there. So this is the whole point. I mean, when you see a stupid thing like that, I mean, it doesn't affect me in the least. Absolutely not. It has, no effect on my play whatsoever. But There's always somebody out there who's got some smart-ass, stupid explanation for why I'm successful at what I'm doing here. It always involves me cheating, or, well, it's all cheating. Knowing in advance would be cheating, wouldn't it? $51. Don't get the 10. Please don't get the 10. Don't get the 9. There we go. You can have the 10 now. I've lost myself again. That was a repeat, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. The other thing being, of course, saying, well, I think Mr. Shackelford could defend the standing on blackjack, because there are people who double down on a blackjack against 6 or 5 or 6, I think. So then they get double instead of 1.5. I mean, to me, I'd say a guaranteed winner is not worth messing with. It's just stupid. You've got a guaranteed 1.5. But I guess if you've got 100,000 out there, then maybe it's worth going for the extra 50. Only people like Dana White and Crazy Cody Burn Money would know the answer to that. That was a big win, wasn't it? Let's see, now that was a dealer's hit, a dealer's pull, and he's entitled. Oops. That didn't go well, did it? That's like 3/4 third, I think. Oh dear. 7/4 drop. I have to go back to baccarat in a minute. Jeez. Damn. Okay, so now we're on 5/4 because we got 2 back for that. Yeah, if you win 100 in the drop zone, don't take it off. If you win 200 or more, take it all off. That's the rule. Take it or leave it. 5/4. No tens. 9/8. That was bad luck, wasn't it? Oh, bloody hell. There we go. 9/8, 17, 20. Third. Okay, now let's be clear about something here. I always stand on soft 18 against a dealer's 7. Not because I saw the 17 up there. I mean, that really does disappoint me that Shackelford leaves that alone up there, because it is such a stupid bloody pain in the arse. And I don't know whether I don't know why he would do that. I know he doesn't. I don't know he doesn't write it, but I assume he doesn't write his own sims. The other one that he has one for roulette, which is really rubbish. But that has somebody else's name down in the bottom right corner, so obviously he's licensed that one. But how did we do there? Did we make any money? I think we came out of trouble. Did we come out of trouble? Yeah, we did. Okay, back to the men. No, we'll go over to baccarat. All right. Always start on player over here. +1. +1. Double for the tie. 2, 3 second. 5, 6 third. There we go. Yeah, it's just sort of simple patterns. That's all it is. And I don't think a strategy that's terribly complicated is worth looking at, because under the sort of all the distractions, the noise, that you get in a casino, you just don't need something that's really complicated. You need something where you can become almost robotic, not completely robotic like the algorithm, because that has its disadvantages, its downsides. Um, but it needs to be simple, basically, and this is very, very simple. Okay, I think that's what did I just do there? I messed up, didn't I? It's 2-3. How did I get to 2-3? I don't know. 5-3, and we've got to wait for the bank. There's P1. So annoying. P2. P3. Is that 5-3? A6. Oh dear. 14-12. I'm going to go 14-15 because I feel like it. And then there's going to be some prat out there who says, "Yeah, well, you knew what was coming." There have always been trolls. I was talking to my baccarat buddy in California last night about this, and saying, I've had people coming at me in all kinds of ways over the years. First on the internet in 1996, so that's nearly 30 years ago, and I've been taking abuse, and I've had threats, and I've had all kinds of stuff. And I think the real shit tends to come from people who are in the casino business. And, like the expert that I mentioned yesterday, MIT guy from, he was part of the MIT team back in God knows when it was, the 1980s, 90s, something like that, who took Vegas for a lot of money. And he was saying the only reason that they have table limits is to stop progressive betting, to block it. And of course, if you keep moving, so as soon as you hit the table limit, you just say, okay, that's fine. So I can't place the next bet here, so I'll go somewhere else. I'll take my down, which is the amount that you're in the hole, and you're out, which is the value of your next bet. Take it to somewhere else. That's how you do it. Well, that's supposed to be 100 now, isn't it? I'm getting tougher on that on the commission thing. Okay, so now it's 200 for the tie. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But just demo after demo here. Win, 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 win. Nobody cherry picking going on. This program in particular prevents that because it's all there. It's all laid out. And now that I've got the clock in the corner here, it's just, I wouldn't want to cheat. What's the point? Well, go ask Donald Trump. He cheats all the time at golf. But boy, that's a fragile ego at work there. Oh dear. There we are. That worked. Went a little higher there. But when you steal a little bit like that, sort of go just a little bit higher when you're rounding up to new increments and so on, what you're doing is just sort of storing money, sort of like a squirrel, for when turnaround comes. You just get that much more money, that much more profit. And the whole problem with the martingale in particular, and also with that thing that Casino Matchfaker was peddling, Oscar's Grind, you only win one unit, or you win everything back. You win all your prior losses, but you're only ahead one unit. You're only profiting one unit, and that, of course, is just that's not going to work. So that's one of those obvious things. Anyway, banker 125. So now we go to 50. Now we go to 75. And now we go to 100. And that's a 1-3 for the commish. Ooh, Banker is being very kind to us. I don't like Banker really because of the commission, but no complaints this time. Bloody hell. And of course, mind you, look at this. We're 36 wins to 21 losses. So, I mean, I'd have to be blind, stupid, drunk, and comatose to lose against what's been handed to us this time. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5. Third on the bank. I think the bank run is running out. So 8-5, and we're going to come over here and look at that. B1, 8-5. Oh, I'm not going to get to do that. Okay. So we'll save this shoe. We're on 8-5, and I'm going to pick up another one. Let's have a look at that one. 8-5. That's a bloody pain in the arse, isn't it? All right, so we've got 36 into 65 and 24 into 44. So that's sort of like real close, I think. But we're doing an 8-5 on a new shoe now. And anybody who's interested in this game, seriously interested in baccarat, they don't get into Baccarat Win Pro, and I have no financial interest in it, but all I am is a big fan because it just makes life so much easier for somebody trying to demonstrate a viable, reliable, sensible, consistent, disciplined, efficacious, blah de blah de blah. Anyway, 8-5 on player. 3-4. 7-8. That's disappointing, wasn't it? It would have been nice to get that one. 7-8. 15-20. No. Okay, let's go and see if we can shake the money tree over at blackjack. 15-20, so that's 3.5, 2. And we're going to call it a drop, I think. So the drop is going to be 1,000. So let's call it 4-2. Oh, 5-2. Oh dear, 6-2. This can happen. Well, you can see that. 7-2. Could get into some real mire here before we get out. 7-2. Hate that. 8-2. No, 9-2. 9-2. Hey. So now it's 8-2. Not looking good up there, is it? Ah, look at that. 8-2, 10-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, bloody hell. 14-8. Damn it. Three blackjacks in a row? Are you kidding me? So that's 22-8. I think I'll play on. 22-8. So the drop is 5, isn't it? Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so that's 17-8 now. God, it's so slow. So that would be 9-10. 17-8, 9-10. Okay. That's rough. 9-10, 19-20. Second. Oh, bloody hell. Look at this. We got to go for 39-40. Third. I should have bailed out, shouldn't I? Oh. Okay. So what we're getting here is yet another lesson in the fact that taking on any of these games without a shitload of money behind you is foolish. A fool and his money will soon be parted. Or as it will be soon, whatever. But this is kind of a worthwhile demonstration, I think, of that whole thing. So we've got 8,000 over here, and we're in the soup over here, I think. So what we need to do is play on here and make some money, which is not going to be easy because we're well, I'm going to try it. Double for the tie. 51. 2, 3. That's that sorted. 51. Repeat. Minimum. Double for the loss. Repeat. One, 2. $51. 2, 3. My goodness, we're in credit for the session balance now. Whoopee. Double for the loss. 1, 2, third. 3, 2. Yeah, let's call it 3, 4. Yeah, I'm sort of like toying with the idea that hopping at 3 losses when the bet's below 1,000 is possibly not a good idea. So these are very minor modifications, very, very small modifications, and I'm not opposed to anything. And my friend Gullwing, I call him, because he's a Mercedes-obsessed car freak. I think he even owns a Gullwing Mercedes. Not sure about that. But he's doing a lot of great work with baccarat, because that's his game, very much. He hardly understands blackjack at all. He's interested, but he's not into it. And he's doing some great work with modifications to pattern betting that reduce the drawdown. See, I mean, we had a massive 39-40 there, which is 80,000, and then we came out of it, with the 7,000, nearly, was it 7,000 or 8,000? 8,000 profit. So, what you're getting there is you're getting a fifth of your outlay, return on risk, So, was it a fifth? 39, 40, 80? No, it's a tenth, isn't it? 10% return. But you're getting that in what, 10 minutes? I mean, can you go anywhere else with $80,000 and get a return like that? And don't tell me, yeah, you can put it down on the roulette wheel and get it back, right away, 100%. But that's not valid because that's not going to continue going forward. Whereas this is a strategy which just keeps moving forward, forward, forward. And then every time you get your turnaround, you fall back to the minimum. So it's not at all the same as these crazy bets that, like for instance, Vegas Matt does. He just put one up on YouTube where he's with the 80-year-old owner of El Cortez in downtown Las Vegas. I forget his name. He looked pretty spry for 80, I guess, although I'm nearly 80 myself. So I think I look better than him. But anyway, that's beside the point. He put down 5,000, always on banker, lost it in front of the boss, which is probably good PR or good business. But Kenny somebody, I think his name was. Don't remember. Anyway. But those sorts of crazy bets, one bet and walk away, just nuts, just stupid. That's the only word for it. Where the hell am I? Be nice to see a positive shoe balance, that's for sure. And now we come back down to the plus max, my plus max, your choice. Okay, now we'll chase that one because we only had one. No, we didn't have one. There we go. Back to the min. Plus one. Plus one. See, what we need, excuse me, I'm so sorry. What we need here is we need a big challenge so that we can make a big turnaround. And that may not happen. Because that's where the money is when you get into deep shit. And because you're building, rounding up, and so on, to boost, to inflate the turnaround profit, you need to have a long, hard stretch, and then bang comes turnaround, and you're in the money. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, third. There we go. I would like to see this as at least neutral shoe. One, two. See, I mean, that's a modification where, what I used to do is I used to say, okay, so repeat 75 and repeat 100. Not doing that anymore. I'm going straight to, sort of like the next bet is 200, either way. Seems to be working. The whole objective is not to be greedy, but to just gently massage the potential profitability. And I've taken it now from an average of 10% to an average of 15%. Gullwing Go-Getter's 360 shoes using pattern betting plus his mysterious modification. He will tell me about it eventually, he says. He's on 5%. Absolutely incredible. I mean, really good. But he's reduced the drawdown considerably. And that's got to be a good thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 1, 2. That's a 3, 4, third. Oh dear me. Damn it. 7, 4. Let's call it 7, 8. Being as though I just said we need to make money. There we are. All right. Yeah, I think that if the bet is less than 1,000, then probably don't hop. Just keep on doubling. Trouble is, if you double more than three times, they start to get a little bit sort of antsy. This is part of the problem. A lot of pattern betting is not exactly camouflage, but it's just to try and damp down the drama a bit. So that's why when you hop, you don't double the bet immediately. You repeat the bet on the hop. It's fairly well thought out, this, I tell you. It has taken 30 years, so I think that's a fair assumption. 51, 2, 3. There we go. Repeater. 51. Repeat. Well, we're getting towards the goal anyway of neutralising this shoe or evening out this shoe and the session balance and a B+. That was a loss, wasn't it? Don't like those. Repeat it. 51. 2, 3, third. Double for the loss. Repeat. 51. Repeat. Damn it, we almost got there. Look at that. That's pretty funny. Okay, so the session balance is 1,930 plus the blackjack win over here, which is 7,900. So we're looking at, real close to 10,000 from this session. I think that's decent. Oh, God. I wish there was a cure for this barking and snorting, and at least I'm not farting. That's something, eh? All right, so that's it. I'll catch you next time. All right then, more numbers. Yeah, I'm closing in on 1,000 bets, 1,000 rounds in this analysis of Vegas Matt's table games activities over the last month or two, and I'm beginning to get the same feeling that I got when I tracked Mr. Handpay for a year and Brandon O'Brien for several weeks, and that is that it's just odd when after this number of bets you see an overall positive, and it's over here, flat actual value. Flat meaning quite simply that if you've been betting just one unit, whatever that unit might be, a million or a buck, you would get a 3.9, or you would read a 3.9, nearly 4% player edge. And I find that, frankly, hard to believe. And so, to me, it suggests cherry picking. And when I last looked at one of Mike Shackelford's online streaming Q&As, he talked about how everybody who's doing anything by way of content creation on the YouTube gambling channels is cherry picking. They're not showing the whole story. That's his opinion. It also happens to be my opinion. I certainly don't agree with Mike Shackelford on everything, but he is a smart guy, and I like to think that I'm not stupid. So, that's how it is. And so I'm kind of uncomfortable. But what I am seeing here is that, in spite of the fact that over the last week or so, Vegas Matt and his merry mob, Vegas Matt and friends, as they've taken to calling themselves on another channel, they have had the wind in their tail somewhat, the wind at their back, and they've been seeing some reasonable wins. That, of course, is good for pattern betting's algorithm as well, as you can see here, because there was a really nasty drop there let's have a look. Can't quite. Sometimes this thing just doesn't want to get it right, It's not telling me what the max was here. Oh, there we go. From 40,150 down to 16,850. All money in the bank, fortunately, but there you go. 66,250 dropped to 3,950. So that was a hell of a hit for a while. And then just recently, because of Matt's wins, which I'm stuck with, like it or not, the algorithm, algae, bounced back. So down here you can see what I'm talking about. In trouble here over a long period, and then finally out of it right here. And the reason that I'm interested in tracking Vegas Matt is that he is the most popular of what I believe to be, and I think can be shown to be, a bad bunch. All of these guys are promoting stupid gambling. They're promoting reckless and irresponsible gambling, and they are not making enough of the fact that it doesn't cost them anything. It actually makes them money. The only one who's honest about money coming in from Google is Bobby Rivas, and he will show once a week. He will do this thing about I'm gambling my Google check, and what he means is his Google check from the last video in that series of I'm gambling my Google check. So now he's up to now sort of like nearly $1,800 just from that one 30-minute video once a week. So you're looking at big bucks. Bobby is, he seems a very likable guy, very good at what he's doing. But like all the others, what he's doing is he's promoting stupidity and recklessness, and not making enough of the point that, of course, it doesn't cost him any money in the long run. If you want to watch a real Looney Tune, then watch Crazy Cody Burn Money in Toronto, who occasionally shows up in Las Vegas and bets dumbly. Basically, I mean, he doesn't win unless he wins more bets than he loses. But he's got so much money that he just seems to be immune. I don't understand most of the formulas that apply to these people. All I know is that in our society these days, and I speak as somebody who lived in Nevada for decades and gambled in Nevada for decades, we have given respectability and almost honor to an industry which, when you get right down to it, is destructive to the social fabric as a whole. It encourages people to do whatever it takes to get money to gamble when they have a problem. And the idea that anybody who will put money down against a negative expectation doesn't have some kind of a problem is ridiculous. Of course, it's stupid to put money down when your chances of winning are less than 50-50. And this is why I'm working as hard as I have been for these many years to say to people, look, if you're going to be stupid, be sort of smartly stupid, if that makes any sense at all. In other words, recognize that the reason that there are table limits in these casino games is to stop people from betting progressively. Therefore, you need to just step back, stop being childish and naive and downright dumb, and consider the fact that maybe, progressive betting is the only way that you can beat these games. And, you watch Vegas Matt and folks, and he bets every time he goes to the table, he bets as if it's his first ever time. He just bumbles along and throws money away. And, he likes to claim that he's not promoting gambling. Of course he's promoting gambling, and he's also promoting stupid, reckless, irresponsible, half-baked, half-witted, blah, 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 And it is odd. As I say, it's very odd that we honour and respect an industry which wreaks so much havoc, and they're very good at justifying themselves by saying, just like drug dealers do, well, I'm not holding a gun to anybody's head. I'm not making, I'm not making them come to me to buy drugs. I'm not making them overdose. I'm not doing anything. I'm just supplying a demand, and that is the position that the casinos take. And of course, it's a false one. And in my opinion, and I'm certainly not alone in this opinion, the people who run our society, the politicians and the regulators and others, should take steps to protect the real victims in gambling, which are those I call second-hand gamblers. And I know this is like a lecture and I'm sort of sounding off and all the rest of it, but it's a point of view which I think deserves to be considered. And I think the victims of second-hand gambling, the wives who don't know they're placing bets, the children whose college funds are sucked into the maw of the casino business, the people who commit suicide because they lost all their money and a lot of other people's money while they were at it, the people who turn to crime in order to feed their habit, therefore involving sort of other people in huge loss and police and on and on it goes. How can we say that industry is clean and good for us? It just does not make any sense. And so this is why I have a problem with all of these people who promote gambling. And I'm not a hypocrite, because I'm not telling anybody, go out and use this strategy and you will make money. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you take a knife to a gunfight, a pea shooter to a blunderbuss battle, a stick to a what? Just fill in the blanks, all right? Then you're an idiot. I like the one that's, don't take a taco to a burrito fight, but that's just because I'm dumb like that. It's just a silly joke which I enjoyed. I think it was a cartoon in the New Yorker. Who would take a taco to a burrito fight? How stupid is that? So anyway, I'm singling out Vegas Matt because I think he's the worst of the bad lot. They all are undoubtedly wonderful people who found a really neat way to make a shitload of money while exploiting the weakness of others. And that, of course, is, in a nutshell, what casinos are all about too. Exactly the same thing. So those guys are on one side and I'm on the other side. And like I say, I am not alone. Anyway, let me talk about, having got 10 minutes into this, and I might have lost you a long time ago and I really don't care. Where are we at? Now we've got this weird anomaly where Vegas Matt has somehow managed to come out on top with a data set which is player friendly with a player edge of 4%. That I think is ridiculous, but there we go. The pattern betting algorithm has managed to make 84,600 at some risk. Exposure was 7,413. Maximum bet 25,000. And of course, people will say to me, well, this is a ridiculous strategy because nobody can afford that. Well, that's the whole point, of course, is that, people with money, tacos in a burrito fight can't afford a burrito, right? So, they shouldn't be fighting. And that's really what I'm trying to get across. Don't even think about it unless you have a shitload of money behind you. And if you've got a shitload of money behind you, you're probably not much interested in putting it at risk. So, we got a little bit of a Mexican standoff there, but that's how it goes. Anyway, Vegas Matt has suffered some downturns of late, and so he and Algae, as I call it, are getting to pretty much the same position. Algae's actually overtaken him a little bit. Note here, Algae's total action is 700,000, whereas Matt's is 900,000 plus. So Algae's win is 12% of total action, whereas Matt's is 9%, near enough. His exposure 5,800, Algae's 7,500, near enough. His spread 95 to 10,000, so that's 105 to 1. Matt's Algae spread from 25 to 25,000, which is 1,000 to 1. And obviously, you couldn't do all that in the same casino, at the same table, or whatever. But the patterns that make this strategy successful in the long run, with no guarantees, I have to say, before the YouTube dogs nip at my heels, no guarantees, but the patterns are there all the time. So if you walk away from a particular situation prior to recovery, in other words, mid-recovery, and decide to take your money and your chips, and you're down and you're out somewhere else, not going to hurt you, not going to help you necessarily, just basically in the long run won't make any difference. That's the whole point. And so, when you hit the table limit and you can't make the next bet that's required by the strategy, then just back away and go somewhere where you can make the next bet and the next few after that. It really is as simple as that. So Matt is, let's see, his average win 990, average loss 775. So he's about 130%, which is good. He's doing okay. He's winning more when he wins than he loses when he loses. Algae is at a higher percentage, 660 to 465, which is 142%. Not much of a difference there, right? But I wanted to put this up because in this particular video, I've had a little bit of a go at Vegas Matt, and I admit I have an interest in that because he dobbed me in with a complaint about copyright being stolen from him, which is just, I just didn't know what to say when that cropped up. I mean, I thought it was childish, spiteful, stupid, damaging to his name and reputation, but he must think otherwise. And I'm not getting a very good impression of Vegas Matt, I'm sorry to say. But that's fine. I mean, he was in multi-level marketing, which basically means rip-off, and made his millions from that, apparently. But how he makes his money is up to him. I mean, so long as it's legal, so long as he hasn't been caught. If it isn't legal, then whatever. I don't really give a damn. But I do care about the fact that he's basically stirring up muddy waters and drawing new innocence into the mess that is legalized gambling, not just in the United States, but around the world, and certainly in the UK. In the UK, we have a gambling commission which is totally spineless and powerless, and its only guidance from the government is do whatever you've got to do, but you can't cost the taxpayers any money, so you've got to raise your money from license fees and fines and blah, blah, blah. And so they get as much money in as they can. They have as many licensees as they can possibly license, and they apply fines from time to time for people who are suspected of money laundering or doing something wrong, and that pays for their fat salaries and their even fatter pensions. So that's where we're at in the UK. But just to sort of go over this again. Vegas Matt has managed to make 80,600. The algorithm, the pattern betting algorithm, has made 84,600. We're pretty close. If Matt is honestly posting, then his luck will run out, and at that point, pattern betting will start to pull ahead of him, because that's just how it works. And I've stopped putting up any pictures of his or any snaps from his thing, because if he's as thin-skinned as he seems to be, he's likely to go after me for copyright infringement again, which is just plain childish. But that's how he is, and he apparently thinks of himself as being above the rest of us. So whatever. There we are. That's it. I'm done for now, and I will be in a bit putting up the analysis of the session that just ended. The where I played against games and behaved a lot differently than Vegas Matt and his crew do. So this is another data set. It's actually the data set that's sort of laid out bet by bet in the video that preceded this. You know, sort of the round by round, bet by bet, blah de blah. And obviously, on a smaller sample like this of 199, it's not that unusual to see a high flat AV or a player edge as opposed to the expected banker edge. So it's not a problem. It's only when you get into the sort of, high hundreds, the thousands, the whatever, like with the Vegas Matt sample that preceded this, that I start to think that something weird is going on. But anyway, what we get here is we get another story where the algorithm, Algae, plays more sensibly than me, more kind of just per the rules than me, and so wins a very comfortable 5,800 some, has a maximum bet of 3,200, exposure of 325, manages an average win of 177 versus an average loss of 148. You can see from the red line here, the actual value line, or the flat bet line, if you like, that this was basically a pro player thing. There was this nasty bit here and a smaller one there and then a longer one there. But on the whole, going from here to here, the trajectory, the overall trajectory, average trajectory was favourable to the player, which of course was me. This is how win-loss patterns look, and you can see exactly why, once again, pattern betting will tend to prevail without guarantees. I have to say that every time. No guarantees, no promises. I'm not selling anything. I'm not offering anything. I'm not putting any pressure on anybody. I'm just saying, don't bet the way you're betting now. Don't bet the way that Vegas Matt does and all the others on their various different gambling channels. They're all sort of basically pulling the wool over your eyes because, they can fling money around like it's going out of style, but they get their losses back one way or another. So, I'm just suggesting to everybody or anybody who's willing to listen, just take all that shit with a pinch of salt, because it really is just ridiculously reckless and irresponsible and dumb play. I'm not suggesting for a moment that I'm perfect, and obviously, the varying results here prove that I'm not, because here we have the story with my betting as it played out in the video that you just saw, or the sequences that you just saw all strung together. 11,000 nearly was the win. Exposure was way higher than for Algae, the algorithm. Highest bet was 40,000, which was just huge. So Algae bet. Algae bet from 25 to 10,000, and real play was 25 to 40,000. The message that I'm just trying to get across all the time, and I'm sorry if I'm boring the crap out of anybody, but it's just simply, you cannot beat these games unless you have a lot of money behind you, and unless you believe in what you're doing, and unless you've practiced it so long that you know that it's the best way to go, understanding, of course, that something could at some point go terribly wrong, and it could be tits up, wheels off, and crash and burn and all the other Vegas cliches. But you cannot beat these games unless you take them seriously, and that means understanding the numbers and paying attention, and just, for goodness sake, not copying any of the clowns who are professional losers on the YouTube channels. So there you have it. Anyway, real play, 8.1% win compared to action. Algae, the algorithm, 18%, much smaller. I mean, less than a quarter of my action exposure. For me, was 31,663. For algae, it was 325. And obviously, what we all need to do is learn to bet like the algorithm, which is something that I've been striving for many years, and I still manage to bumble through. But I have perhaps too many ups and downs, and volatility is a part of all these games. We've all got to get that. And volatility is what builds the damn casinos. It's what keeps the money coming in, because people are going to these tables not aware that things can suddenly go absolutely shit-shaped, and they can get 7 or 8 or 10 or 15 losses in a row, and it just sucks up all their money and leaves them sort of either rushing off to an ATM-tation, as I call it, succumbing to ATM-tation. And it's I think it's a terrible thing that ATMs are all over the casinos, even on poolside bloody pits, blackjack games and so on. There it is, right there. By the life jackets and all the other stuff on ATM, so that somebody with wet feet and a wet backside who's just got out of the pool can paddle over and plug in his card and get yet more money to lose. It's a rum business. The whole casino business is weird. And the pretense that it's respectable and decent and honest and true is preposterous. But there are plenty of people who behave as if there's something absolutely wonderful about the existence of casinos, and everybody loses except the casinos. Oh, and of course, people who get lucky, and maybe sometimes people with a betting strategy. And there are winners. There are certainly winners in Las Vegas who are not just dumb lucky, but they're not very many. You could probably count them on, 3 fingers, whatever. But that's it for now from me anyway. I got to wrap this whole thing up and get on with life. I've taken a break for a couple of days, actually. And this particular Don't Bend Over episode is out of order, in the sense that it's number 6, and I think the last one I posted was number 3. That doesn't mean to say that 4 and 5 won't be coming. They will, but it just happens that this was a particularly dramatic one, which required, at least for me, not for algae, but for me, required very serious exposure, deep pockets and all that stuff. And that's really what I want to get across all the time, is to say, please don't put your money at risk unless you can afford to win, which means you must have a lot of money behind you. And please make sure it's your money and not your family's and not your creditors and not the mortgage companies and not the whatever. I mean, all of this is stuff where people say, well, people should be treated as adults and allowed to do whatever they want to do with their money. If it's their money and nobody else is depending on them, absolutely true. But beyond that, the reality is that more people than we might like to even think about are actually, when they bet in Vegas, all over Nevada and anywhere else in the world, are not playing with their own money. So, that's my thing. So, next time, maybe, please come back.